Let me talk about this month, and let me talk to you about what kind of came screaming out when I was shuffling the spread. So let me see. Let's talk about this first. So, first of all, financially, let's talk about your financial situation here with the Seven of Pentacles. This is a card about impatience in the reverse. Working very diligently and waiting for the harvest, waiting for the payout, and knowing that the hard work is going to pay out. When it's in the reverse position, it's almost like counting your eggs before they hatch, wanting to kind of leapfrog ahead and not have to do the preliminary legwork in order to get to a situation. So I feel for many of you in the career front, there is this sense of restlessness coming in. When am I going to get a promotion? When am I going to, to handle the big accounts? When am I going to have like the bigger cases, the more interesting things coming my way on the work front? When am I going to be entrusted with more responsibilities? And unfortunately, this is a card about diligence. This is a card about accumulating and learning accumulating knowledge or learning new things in a linear progression. So you kind of have to know how to thoroughly do A in order for people to entrust you with steps B. And you have to thoroughly know how to do step B in order for people to entrust you with step C. So it's like learning in a very systematic way. And you can't really bypass certain steps just to get ahead. You can't even jump over certain steps in order to get to the end. So I feel like you're in a situation that is very, very systematic, is routinized, it's regimented, and you're getting a little bit bored, a little bit impatient, and also a little bit restless. Like, when is my time going to come? When am I going to make the big bucks? When am I going to be trusted with the big accounts? When is this boredom going to go away? When am I going to do work that is more meaningful? So where you are right now, Sagittarius, financially, things are very, very good. Things are stable. It has long-term longevity and sustainability, job security, and it's going to, lead to that trajectory, the career path. But I feel your restlessness is disallowing you from seeing how good this situation can be. Okay? So that's the first thing. The other thing I'm picking up to is this is a relationship partner here. We have an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I feel like for some of you, there is restlessness within this relationship. And it has nothing to do with the way this person feels about you, because the feelings are there. It has everything to do with your own sense of boredom about this relationship. Is it the best? Is it the best optimal outcome? Can I find another person out there in the world that can give me what this person is giving me? Is this the ultimate person that's meant for me? Or is there more to life? Am I happy with my life right now, or am I projecting the dissatisfaction onto my partner? So I feel that element here about some things that you need to sort out internally for yourself. Your work, your career, your job satisfaction, your hobbies, your life, your social life, and whether or not these things are bringing you that sense of personal fulfillment. Because if it's not, then you might, turn to your partner to fulfill you in ways that might not be appropriate. Okay? And then on top of that, we have here an earth sign. And for some of you, this is somebody that you're dealing with, a partner who is a little bit kind of impatient as well. And funnily enough, earth signs are not like, impatient people. But I feel like there's somebody in your life that you don't get. You don't understand them, or you have had many, many run-ins with them, and you don't really understand the way they think, the way they operate. And they're very, very slow to react. So you're just like, what are you waiting on? Like, why are you waiting so long? What do you want? Like, what are you waiting on? Don't you see what I'm seeing? So I feel like those are the conversations or the thoughts that go through your head when you're dealing with this person. And you're dealing with someone who is, who stands by and observes. And they don't really take any concrete action. And as a fire sign, you're very end result oriented, and you're kind of frustrated when you're dealing with this person who is not really, you feel, who's not very proactive, okay? But then I also feel as well, on the flip side of that, you have somebody who is very dependable. And the words that I'm hearing is they are a permanent fixture in the landscape. So that means they're there when you need them, okay? And I feel like just don't take it for granted. They're there when you need them. So like they're always there. And when push comes to shove, they are there. And so when something is so, constant in our lives, we tend to take it for granted. And then when something is like always in the background, or it's like a part of the landscape, we take it for granted as well. We think, oh, it's always going to be there. And then when they're not there, that's when you start to really see the impact of their presence, okay? The thing about earth signs in general is that they are very subtle. Their presence is very, very subtle. They're not flamboyant like a fire sign where, they enter a room and the energy changes and everyone notices their entry. They're not like noticeable like an air sign where, they communicate, they talk, and they're like a wellspring of ideas. Earth signs are very, very subtle, and they take care of things usually behind the scenes. They make sure things run well, operations-wise, logistics-wise. And then when they're not there, kind of like with Mercury retrograde, when Mercury is not there, things go awry. And then when this person is not there, things go awry behind the scenes. Things that you take for granted will run smoothly. They go awry, and that's when you start to miss this person's presence. So their subtlety is what makes them so indispensable. And it can be very difficult to pinpoint, or to tell yourself how much you really need this person until you feel the lack of their presence. So I feel that's what's happening here. It's the lack of their presence that will make you so appreciative of all that they have to offer. So that's the first thing. The other thing I want to talk about is this trio. We have a soulmate connection here, and we do have temptation. Two people on either side of you. So I feel Sagittarius, and I don't sense this a lot for you guys, but I feel like this is a very, very, it's a good month, but it tends to be a little bit more emotional than you'd like, okay? So let me talk about this first of all. The Six of Cups is a really, really beautiful card. It harkens back to like a past life energy, and it deals heavily with a situation where somebody can make us feel very loved by making us feel very safe. There's a high level of chivalry associated with this card, where, it's like the man giving the woman flowers, the man doing something for the woman. And I know that, based on gender stereotypes, this is not always a positive thing, but the way that the card is depicting, it's basically somebody, and it doesn't matter what gender you are, making you feel really, really safe and secure, mainly because they take care of your emotional needs, okay? And this is basically feeling that connection, that's really strong soul connection with somebody. You might not even be attracted to them. You might not even, be sexually attracted to them, but there's something there that warrants looking further into, and there's something there that makes you feel very at ease, very at home, very safe with the other person. And so you're feeling this with a specific person in your life. For many of you, you're caught between two partners. And I have here an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And then I have another person, could be an Aries person, a fire sign or another fire sign, so Aries, Leo, or another Sagittarius. But what I'm feeling is you're like caught between two people. The other sign might be somebody who's older than you and who is in an authority figure, in a position of power, such as a boss, a supervisor, somebody that you look up to, somebody that you really, really, really admire. And this is the energy of somebody who solves problems. They make the difficult decisions so that the people around them don't have to. And a lot of the times they make difficult decisions. Even though it's difficult for them, it's for the well-being of everybody involved. And what that means to me is if you're in a relationship and they're in love with you, they're going to let you go because they want you to be happy with whoever it is that you're with, right? They make the difficult decision that are difficult for them. But they're doing it so that you don't have to make the choices. And then I'm also feeling as well, Sagittarius, a lot of the times, one sure way to know, to guess, if a Sagittarius loves somebody, you have to respect the person that you love. So you can't love somebody if you don't respect them. And what I mean by that is you love people with a very strong sense of ethics. You love somebody with a very strong, moral compass. You love somebody that has a strong sense of morality. And when they represent or when they embody, that pillar of strength and stability and morality, you really, really look up to them. You might not even be attracted to them, but you trust them, you believe in them, you admire them, and you naturally, once you have those, once it's like trust, admiration, and respect, once all of those things are met, you could fall in love with a person. And so I feel like some of you are caught between two people. One is possibly an earth sign, and then we have a fire sign, or a person that is older or in a position of leadership. Could be a mentor to you as well. So I feel like you're admiring somebody and it's turning into like a love connection. And I feel like this person, I'm feeling like it's mutual. I'm feeling like the feelings are mutual. But they're also looking at you and they're like, I wonder if the Sagittarius is single. I wonder if I can make a move on them without jeopardizing the power dynamics in our relationship. And I'm also wondering if they're attached, and whether or not they're attached, I should detach myself. So I feel like we have this love triangle. What I'm also sensing as well is you might be involved with a superior here, and you don't want it to jeopardize your work, okay? So you don't want it to interfere with your career. You don't want it to jeopardize your work. And then I'm also sensing as well, the attraction is really, really strong. It's very hard to ignore. But the two of you, out of that sense of moral obligation to one another, because that's the nature of a soulmate connection. No matter what, you want the best for the other person. And the soulmate connection denotes that, maybe you have feelings for each other, but you're not really doing anything because you don't want it to affect your work. You don't want it to affect, maybe he's married or she's married. You don't want it to affect them in that way. And they likewise are not doing anything about it. They don't want it to affect you. So we have a multitude of scenarios here, but I feel love connection, love triangle, and trying to deny it. Trying to avert your gaze, trying to skirt the issue, trying to avoid them, trying to, not address these things, which is fine. I mean, you're going to do what you need to do to make the right choice based on your circumstance, but you're dealing with another person who is very moral, and There's a big fantasy here, big attraction and big fantasy. And it's really weird because the connection is really soulful, is what I'm feeling here. This is not just, feeling attracted to somebody. If it was just physical attraction, where you have to do something, you have to have them, you have to possess them, then, it's going to happen, right? But this is like a really strong, it's weird. This is fantasy. This is like, fantasizing about a person, dreaming about a person, thinking about them, and then seeing them, down the hall, or seeing them, like call you or text you. This is like almost, that telepathic connection with another person, thinking about them and then hearing from them, or thinking about them and then seeing them in person. And then I have this, which is a lot of seduction, a lot of attraction, and a situation where two people are very like-minded, but also very, very strong-minded, and also this love connection, this soulmate type of a connection, that where you really care about the other person. You don't want to hurt them. They don't want to hurt you. So I'm seeing here a lot of magnanimous energies where the two of you are trying to skirt issues. I'm so sorry for that constant alert. It's my email. So what we have here are energies that you're going to have to maneuver. Try to do the right thing. And, whatever the right thing is for you, do I go with this person that my heart really desires? Or do I stay in this safe relationship because the person is dependable and has always been there for me? But there is a sense of boredom. Am I bored? Is that why I'm looking outside of the relationship? Or should I try to re-inject some more passion and chemistry in my existing relationship to make it more dynamic? So I feel like you have some soul searching to do. I don't see you succumbing to temptation, but I feel many of you might have already gotten involved, and now you're trying to figure out, like, what do I do? Caught between a rock and a hard place. What do I do? Act on my baser desires, or do I just sit on it and not do anything? So, it's based on the temptation that are presenting themselves. So we have some really deep dilemmas, like spiritual, emotional dilemmas that are in store for you. And Sagittarius, I feel like I can always trust you to do the right thing. I can always trust you to do the right thing. But, there are lots of people watching this. So I would strongly urge you, don't succumb to your baser desires, okay? Think about actions and consequences. This is about, the boy who cried wolf, okay? So it's like somebody that craves a lot of attention. When it's in the reverse position, it's like getting negative attention, okay? So it could be getting in trouble for things, or it could be, soliciting the wrong people. So if you know somebody is married, or if you know somebody who's not available, then don't go for it, okay? And on the other hand, if you yourself are not available, if you yourself are in a relationship, you don't go looking for trouble. But I trust you guys to do the right thing, and I feel like this is more than ever a big test of your ability to do the right thing, despite all of these feelings that are being triggered here, okay? Do the right thing, especially if it's in a work environment, for your professional life. So try to make the decisions that will not hurt your professional standing, because that, that's a bummer, okay? If you mess up a relationship, but also mess up your work sector as well, and your professional image and your reputation as well. So just be careful about that. What I'm also sensing as well, we do have travel opportunities that are going to be coming into the picture. And travel opportunities here, this is news from afar, news from a foreign land, news from, outside of the state, possibly like needing to travel at a moment's notice, needing to travel. It's not even like long distance. And I usually think of this as like over land. Okay. And I feel like the opportunities are presenting themselves, multiple opportunities. They're coming in very fast and very swift. And I feel like you have to wait on decision. You're kind of like in limbo, waiting on the decisions of other people, waiting for them to finalize their plans because your plans are contingent upon theirs. So I feel like you might have to do this with another person. Like, I'm seeing, you know, like, friends, family, somebody in your work environment as well, possibly. If it's like a supervisor or somebody telling you, you have to do this today, and then you have to coordinate with another person in order to bring the plans to fruition. So last minute travels, a lot of shifting back and forth, possibly even further away travel, but I feel like it might be via a land route, okay? I just want you to, you know, really think about, I see your energy as being very, very scattered for this month. Like you're at work and you're thinking about something else. You're thinking about a person. You're thinking about travel arrangement. You're thinking about multiple things. Keep yourself very, very focused. Try to zone out the things that are not within your control at that present moment in time. And then focus on what's immediately in front of you. Both of these cards, the Seven of Cups, distractions, fantasies, and the Four of Cups, not looking at what's in front of you. And so both of these cards are screaming out, you know, boredom and fantasy and drifting away and zoning out and not being focused and making errors and things like that in the work front. So just be really, really careful about that, okay?